anyway. But I met some good friends. It was a good social experience. I really enjoyed it. But I think that I like the idea of challenging the things, the norms that we think that we've been taught to, like, you have to go to school, you have to get an education, you have to, you got to do all this stuff. When really the practical things of running a business, you learn from running a business. So, what are the early lessons that you've learned? The business that you have now, have you set up other businesses, or is this your first one?
No, I had a few in the past, yes.
Tell me about those.
Yeah, so I was doing drop shipping. Now everybody talks about drop shipping, which is a business model where the supplier is not involved. You just set up a store online, and once the customer places an order, you basically you pass the ball to the supplier, so he will ship the product without you handling any stock. So you're just an intermediary, basically. It was drop shipping. I was selling a product for against dust mites. Actually, I found like a very good space, a very good undervalued product. A product that already existed. Yeah, I didn't invent anything new, but it was so undervalued that nobody, like, if you went to the Facebook communities and tell me that 5 remedies against dust mites, we never mention a product like that. So basically, it was a plug which was emitting ultrasound waves. So it's like some animals are sensible to these sounds. We don't hear them, but some animals do, especially dust mites. And you basically kill them by torturing them, by constantly eating with strong noises, and they stop reproducing, and they will basically die them off. And there were studies, not in vivo, like, let's say, in a real setting scenario, but they did in a very controlled lab setting. And they basically killed 4 species. 2 were completely destroyed, and 2 were extensively damaged and unable to produce. So I was selling this product, and I was pushing this concept that, look, this sound they're emitting is like someone is coming with a trumpet at the stadium, and 24 hours is ringing your. What are you gonna do? You're gonna kill yourself eventually. So because the torture is too much. So this is how and it ended up pretty well. It was undervalued, underserved product, and it was very good. Was very good for many people.
How old were you when you started that?
I was 21. Yeah.
And how did it go? Like, it was a good product. How did it go? And then, what was the next business that you set up after that?
Yeah. So, like, this is so the second one, the first one went very well, and then he set me up for the second, which is completely let's say damaged. Like, let's say I didn't do anything. We did fail. It was a failure, but mainly because of COVID. Because then we're talking about COVID. So I set up like a business that basically always drop shipping. Yeah. But the branding, I was working with the branding and stuff. It was called Fresh Breeds, the indoor air specialist. So because everybody talking about the pollution outside, but nobody talks about the pollution inside in your home. And people, drying their clothes, so increasing the humidity levels, the mold start to form, dust mites again. So always was, like, when the dust mites, they thrive in the dark, they reproduce in that. So nobody cares about the air quality inside their home. And then I was selling air purifiers. And funny enough, COVID hits. I come back to Italy. I close everything. And guess what? After the masks, the air purifier was the second most sold product in the world. So I was already with my mind there, but I didn't catch the wave because my fault. But COVID, let's say, COVID back in Italy. But yeah. That was a big
the reason why it was a miss was because you went back to Italy and you stopped doing it. Yeah. Even though that product just skyrocketed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, I can only tell you, like, I've had some huge misses, like more misses than wins. I think it's the only way a guy like me learns is people always say, oh, I failed. I just kind of like to twist that word to I learned,
Yeah,
And
yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah.
yeah, you didn't fail, you just learned, and it just like it sets you up for those other things where because guys like I don't know if you're like me, but I'm a kind of guy I need to try it to learn. You know, I had a lot of people all my life telling me don't do this and don't do that, and they were really smart and they had really good intentions, and I should have listened, but I was so stubborn that I needed to. It's kind of like when you're if your mom says don't touch the iron, it's hot, and you
Yes.
find yourself just going, oh yeah,
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
right. Trust
Yes,
me,
I
kid,
agree.
you know? Yeah.
Me,
So
I'm the same. Yeah,
yeah,
but it's not
yeah,
our
no,
fault to be honest. Some things you need to really learn yourself. Even like I don't know. There are some things you can learn from others. Some things you need to go through. It's
then the
so
frustrating thing for me, right, is that I've been through a lot. You know, I oh by the way, it was my birthday on Saturday. I'm 53. You know, and
happy
I
birthday.
like as I've mentioned, I have these three stepsons, and
Yeah,
I'm constantly trying to give them advice on things that I've guys, if you try doing it like this, it's going to be a lot easier, you know, and they just ignore me. And I think that's the frustrating thing is when you get to a position in life where you can give really good advice and no one ignores and you're the three kids who you really want to listen to you ignore you, man, it hurts the soul. So, man, if I have any advice for you, please try to take it. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. So okay, so now you've tried two businesses, right?
yeah.
COVID is now over. You're in Italy, and then you end up back in London. Tell me what
Yeah.
happens then.
Yeah, then I start my life back. I started. I mean, I was working hospitality, but obviously nothing worth to mention. It's just a job. So yeah, then I start Staminize, which is the current company, and we do energy supplements. And now, without going maybe into detail about the product, the thing is there's a new twist. And now I'm going because I think today more than ever you need to push on social media. So we started on social media. I start to publish every day. I go around the streets interviewing people, and then my goal is to become like is to prank people basically, making jokes and
Good
fun. Yeah.
pranks, though. Good pranks, right? No, you're not going to
Good
hurt
pranks.
anybody.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No,
Yeah,
no, 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 no. Great. I'm not. I'm very motive driven, but I'm not evil. Evil, let's say, or let's put it
no,
that
we
way.
know you're
So
not.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah. The idea that I've always found with businesses is you have to find, a problem in the market. There's something that needs to be solved. And, I know we live in a world today where there's a lot of people who are running two jobs. You know, they're not, diets might not be very good, sleep routines might not be very good. And these are all things that we can fix through, just looking after yourselves. But then, after good sleep and good rest and good nutrition, there's supplements, and you just have to listen to like a guy like Dr. Andrew Huberman, and
yeah,
the three principles that he teaches. The third one is supplements, that we do need to add some certain things to our diet. And like coffee is, or an energy stimulant, caffeine is the one thing that everybody adds. Not everybody, but most people add in the form of a coffee or a tea in the morning. I can give you that little, and caffeine regulation is important, and it's, everybody's different about when when it best suits their intake of their body to maximize the effects of caffeine. But energy is something that a lot of people are short of. So was that something that you felt, or is it something that you saw in your own life, personal life?
No, well, I was always into food supplements. If I look at my monthly expenses, a good portion of that is supplements. So
Mm-hmm.
for me, like like if you want to see what is your passion or whatever, what you like, is see where you spend your money, and then you realize that okay, you may have interested on those things. So that was food supplements. So was always a very big expense, and so I always take pills and stuff like that. Not to say that, well, someone can say I'm a crazy guy, but I don't do drugs, I don't smoke, I don't do anything else. So for me, this is my outlet, let's say. And yeah, I always took supplements, and for me, coming up with new ideas of how people can get different form of delivery, maybe same compound, like same molecule, same chemical, but a different way to enjoy them has always been in my mind.
Mhm.
And I always wanted to do something in coffee and coffee supplements. But in this case, to be honest, look, the problem is already been solved, because if you don't want coffee, spend coffee, you buy a pill, you buy energy drink, you buy a bar,